Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Kaufmann. I'm a physician here at Midwest Allergy, Sinus, and Asthma. I'm by far the oldest person here in practice. I was trained initially in engineering with a degree in bioengineering from Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology in Terre Haute, Indiana. Then I went to medical school at SIU School of Medicine. I did my residency there in obstetrics and gynecology, and then got a fellowship in maternal fetal medicine and completed that at SIU as well. I was on faculty for over 20 years. I'm professor emeritus there at SIU School of Medicine. And then I got disabled because of my knees. I was a basketball and baseball player. My knees gave out and I was too young to get a knee replacement. And so what happened was I had to go on disability. I was on disability for about 15 years, and then I was able to retire from the state. And after that, Dr. Siri said, do you want to come work here and do our research? Because I've done a lot of research when I was at SIU School of Medicine. So I said, sure, I'll come do that. So I did that for a year, and then I had to start seeing patients because she was out of town for something. She asked me if I'd cover. And I did that, and after doing that a few times, she said, do you want to just see patients? I said, well, sure, I love doing that, but let me get some certifications. So I got certified by the Australian Society of Allergy and Immunology, and so now I'm certified in allergy and immunology as well. I initially chose maternal fetal medicine when I came out of medical school, and the reason I did that was because there was some science involved. I thought about doing immunology at the time, but there was so little science, and most everything that was being done was just being done because it seemed to work or it didn't seem to work, and that didn't appeal to me at all. With maternal fetal medicine, we knew the pathophysiology of the disease, and we knew some about the physiology of pregnancy, but we didn't know how they'd work together. So maternal fetal medicine, I helped actually start that specialty. And what it is we took care of pregnant women where there's something wrong with the mother or the fetus. And I love doing that. And then the science of that continued to grow. And finally it got to the place where when a patient would come in, we'd just open a book and we didn't have to figure out anything. And it was starting to get a little boring. But anyway, what I did was I had to go on disability then, which God's timing, and again, another thing. And then when it came to immunology, by the time that she asked me, well, we had some really good science by that time because it was like 30 years later, almost 40 years later. And we had good science about immunology, and so combining the science and the clinical practice, that's what I love to do. And so that's why I'm doing immunology now, because it's an emerging science with both the allergy and immunology, and I just love it. I love working for MASA because it's fun every day. We meet so many interesting patients. People come in, they have allergies, they have complex allergies, because if they have simple allergies, lots of times their family practitioners or primary care physicians take care of it. Or if they have simple problems with immunology, the same thing occurs. So we get the complicated cases, and that's just a lot of fun. And it's so much fun being able to take these people who have had these problems for so many years, lots of them for years. Some of them are kids, but a lot of them have had them for years or even since birth. And being able to help them and give them some relief, it's just such a joy. And so I just love coming to work every day. Probably the thing I enjoy most is going to church and fellowshipping with other Christians in church. I've been a Christian ever since I was 18. I love doing that. I love sharing with other people. I love the message. I just love everything there is to be about it. So that's probably my biggest joy outside of medicine.